Yes, hey folks, it's Tim, also known as Faceless Fat Loss and over40andripped.com. I had a flare-up of my herniated disc 2 weeks ago this past Saturday. So I hope everyone had a happy Labor Day holiday, by the way. And I wanted to report on what I did 2 weeks ago. It's just herniated discs suck bad. As anyone who's ever had them knows, especially the nerve pain. Now, 2 years ago, this is what's interesting about it. I did a video about using vitamin C. It was a very popular video. I had a friend of mine, Morgan, a model, featured in it, and that drew a lot of attention to it. And a lot of people tried the vitamin C for their herniated disc and had a ton of success with it. So what I wanted to do this time was try something a little bit different. First, I'll tell you briefly what happened. Back in 2006, I had an herniated L5-S1, so skip a couple years later, I had a sort of a re-herniation of it. That was 2 years ago. That's what that video was about regarding vitamin C. And then 2 weeks ago now, I was getting up out of someone's rental car. The seat, oh my gosh, whoever invented these seats with the headrest that pushes you forward and a little bit too much of a bucket down at the bottom must have been a freaking sadist, because it is incredibly horrible for the back as far as I'm concerned. So I got up out of the car after about a 2-hour trip, and I'm like, oh, I felt a little something back there, just a little bit, no big deal. I can manage it. It's happened before. It happens every now and then it passes. I take care of myself and it passes. I do the alternative health stuff that I do and it passes. Well, about 4 hours later, I was taking a shower and just making an innocent twist out of the shower. Aging sucks, by the way. And I'm like, oh crap, and I could barely walk. Now, it wasn't as bad as it was 2 years ago where I was completely immobile, but it was bad. It was bad. I'm like, here we go again. So I have a really great doctor who's very open to alternative modalities, and I ran this whole thing by her and asked her opinion, and she said she wishes everyone would do exactly what I did, because prescription meds don't do crap for lower back issues, pretty much any back issues for that matter. So she wishes people would try other things. Here is what I did, and here's what I want to pass along. I said no vitamin C this time. I did not want to contend with any oxalate-related issues, nor rebound scurvy or any of that. And I wasn't severe to the point where I couldn't move, but it was debilitating. I had to walk in like half steps. It was bad. It was bad. I was very uncomfortable. It was around about an 8 out of 10 on the pain scale, whereas the past 2 times it was a 10 out of 10. So it was bad, and I was very concerned. I said this time, noting that it happened almost to the day 2 years after it happened last time, I said, wait a minute. Sun exposure, vitamin D. I haven't been outside hardly at all this season. It's been horrible in that regard. I love to get outside and get in the sun and get that vitamin D exposure, and I haven't had hardly any. So was suffering from vitamin D deficiency, I sincerely believe, and I can kind of always feel that too, because my mood is brought down and my energy levels aren't the same. Even my libido's not quite the same. So what I did is I said, I'm going to go outside and just bare naked spend time in the sun, and that's exactly what I did. I spent enough time to get myself a little red, and not to the burn, never ever to the burn, just under it so that you feel the little tingle. You know you get that, getting that massive vitamin D production there. I did it 3 days in a row, and the only other thing that I did was hydrate myself like crazy. I said, forget the vitamin C this time. I'm just going to hydrate myself. Spring water, and slowly but surely, about come the second to third day, I started noticing a fairly dramatic improvement. I then chose to exercise a little bit, very carefully, very gently, including even a little bit of weight resistance exercise, nothing taxing the lower back whatsoever, of course, and being really careful with this. Having had 3 months of hell, herniated disc hell, back in 2006, I sort of knew what I could and couldn't do, because I love to work out. So interestingly, as soon as I started doing that, everything got even better. And my doctor agreed that it makes sense, and it was pretty awesome in that regard. So I'm here to say what I did was, interestingly, I wanted to also report that when I was drinking the water, all that spring water, I wasn't thirsty, but I found that I could keep pounding it back. which was interesting. It's almost like drinking the water added to the thirst. It's almost like my body needed it, was compensating. And I also knew I was short on water recently. I normally like to stay very hydrated, and I hadn't been recently. So hydration, sun exposure for vitamin D, very careful exercise. I would even encourage people to avoid that, especially talk to your doctor about it if you're going to do it at all. That 4 days later, I was literally 90 to 95% better. It was so freaking awesome. So that's what I'm here to report on. I will include a link somewhere, probably in the text field below, about what I did, the video from 2 years ago. The aspect ratio on that video is all screwed up. At least it is for me right now. It just happened starting August 1st, so forgive that. Just wanted to comment on that briefly. It's all messed up. So I hope that helps people. If you have a herniated disc issue, consider this as an option. I certainly would not recommend it because I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor about it first. And that's my story. Thank you so much for watching. Love, happiness, health, and peace.